Hey everyone, and you are watching the Geek Chat on the Experience. We've got a full show for you, lots of new number ones, some better than others, but we'll get to that right after this. Hey everyone, it's Thursday. That means it is another episode of the Geek Chat on the Experience. I am your host, Beardy Rich.
And I am the other host for the Black Beardy Test. Nice to meet you all.
Hey, Triple B, welcome in. Hey, Paul. Yes, our new time, 5:30. An extra half hour to go through more books because we just love to talk. Well,
We do.
Des loves to talk.
Oh, you like to talk too. Don't get it twisted. He's such a chatty Cathy.
Yes,
So
yes.
he loves talking about books, and we love talking about books to all of you out there. So thank you all for joining us, and tell your friends. Producer Kyle was letting us know that we've been getting a lot more views. We want to thank you all for joining and looking at other shows. There's tons of shows on the Experience every day. So just want to give you a heartfelt thank you for that, because one of the reasons why we do this is because I get tired of talking to Rich. He uses the same things. So having other people to talk to really makes it very worthwhile. So thank you for that.
Hey, Zax, welcome in. Glad you made it this week.
Hi, Barlord.
Barlord. Yes.
Yes.
We have a giveaway.
Always.
It is a Godzilla versus Avengers one shot, which they love calling number ones. This is a 1 in 25 by the amazing Tony S. Daniel. I remember his stuff when he first started out way back when on X-Force. And now he is one of the premier artists. Don't even know what he's working on right now, to be honest with you.
I don't either. And I know he's been doing a lot of covers. So, but yeah, as always, hashtag Geek Chat in the comics wherever you are watching, and you can be entered in. Barlett says, I haven't had a chance to hit the stack yet, but I've been hearing it's been a mixed week for books this week.
Yes, it was.
Let's just say, because this is what was it? Because this is one of those weeks that it has a bunch of different stuff and not a bunch of number ones. You know, we like to do number ones. We went back a couple of weeks in order to get a bunch of number ones that we might have missed. So yeah, you're going to be hearing some stuff about books that we wanted to but never got to, and some new stuff that came out the last couple of weeks. So
including Triple B's favorite Emma.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, that's later in the show, though. So
yes, in the show.
Yes. Coog and I watched Triple B's latest episode with he rates puts two comics covers against each other, and some of them were better than others. It's pretty cool. And then he was talking about Emma, and I was there going, oh my god, okay, we're gonna read this. So
yeah. So we did read it, and it was a book. That's definitely, and it'll be interesting to get to it. But before we do that, wanted to let everyone know, give everyone a happy Juneteenth if you're celebrating. I did. By that I mean I didn't have to go to work today. So it was fantastic. I slept most of the day, read comics, and
good
just
for you.
Chilled the hell out. It was fantastic.
That's what I do every Thursday.
Yeah, I think that's what was good for it. So I felt really good, and I hope you all had a fantastic holiday as well. So
I've only been up for like 3 hours, not even.
I've just been taking a little bit of cat naps here and there, and there's this one term that the kids say, not unalive. We're not talking about that anymore.
Good.
It's called bed rotting. BED.
The hell does that mean?
ING. So bed rotting is when you lay in bed and you just technically you lay in bed and you just kind of like regain your energy and you just kind of like, I think they're trying to say that it's a part of like separate to like doom scrolling and all this other stuff. But I don't like that term, bed rotting. I call it bed rejuvenating, because I'm using the bed as sort of like, a Michael Jackson rejuvenation chamber. So like I feel like the bed is kind of like holding me in this cocoon-like state, and I'm feeling much better. That way I can go out and deal with all the chaos and craziness of the world. So I call it bed rejuvenating, and I love it.
Call it sleeping. I mean, why do kids got to get all fancy and stupid?
I don't sleep though. I just lie. I just lie in the bed in the covers, and the cats come and like give me their aura, and then they run away, and it's beautiful.
Bed rotting, couch rotting, all of those things are just, you're sitting there and you're not doing anything.
Yes.
You're awake. You're
wow, that used to be called being present, but okay.
No, you're not even
watching
present.
TV, but you're usually watching a safety show, like one of those shows that you can watch a million times and not feel sad about. And then, you do get your energy back, but it's really just about not doing anything. So you're not generating anything. So you're just rotting.
Okay.
I don't like rotting. I am, my body and my soul and my spirit is rejuvenating. It's like,
well, I think it comes from those days when your mom used to tell you if you watch any more TV, your brain's gonna rot.
I mean, that was
okay.
Well, that would be Rich though. So
what are you saying?
Nothing. Anyway, moving.
So BBB's been up since 5 a.m.
I'm so sorry.
Barlord is waiting on some. I know, right? That's way too early. I went to bed at 5 a.m. Barlord's getting books pressed. That's pretty cool.
Yes, Kenneth, your book is going out. We just haven't done it yet, so we'll be going out this weekend. So check your address. You will be getting it, my friend.
Hey,
yes,
Jabroni Chief.
And yes, Paul, I do, and leave me alone about it.
So our first book up has a beautiful cover by. Oh, I got the Art Adams cover. Oh well, I don't know who did that cover. But our number
the actual artist of the book, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got the Art Adams cover because I love Art Adams. Mm-hmm. So this is Blood and Thunder #1, new from Image and Skybound. Oh, I got the second printing #1. Oh, huh. I like it.
This book kind of like flew past my radar, so I had no idea about it. And when you said that you wanted to read it, I was like, okay, that'll be interesting. So yeah, I think her design is very interesting.
I love the hair. Okay, so it was written by Benito Cereno, the artist who did that cover, I guess. E.J. Sue. The colorist is a bunch of letters put together, so MSASSYK. And the letter was Russ Wooten. And there were a bunch of covers as well for this. So, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go first.
Yeah, Steve. The second episode issue came out this week. That's how behind we are. But like Des said, this flew under my radar, and it wasn't until I learned the hook, and the hook actually got me interested. And the hook is her gun talks. And when I read that, I was like, okay, I gotta give it a try.
There's a sentient gun.
Yes. Do you remember Thunder. The book we read? And the sword talked? I think it was by Vault, maybe.
Yes, yes, it was like the Night Hunter or the Night
Barbaric.
That's it.
Oh, yes. Sorry, yes, Barbaric. You are correct.
So I love that's a shtick that I will definitely read, and it worked in this book. I really enjoyed the camaraderie between Blood, which is the female, and Thunder, which is the gun. And in the back, Robert Kirkman talks about why he came up with the name Blood and Thunder, and it's been in his head for many, many years. So
he wanted to write a Thor story, and he thought, "Hey, let's do this instead."
Yeah. All right. So, what did you think?
I didn't know what to think at first. It does read like something that you have seen before, and I think that's one of the things that can be good and or bad about comic books, because a lot of stories you take it and then you kind of put it on its head and then present it back to people as something a little bit different. And what I liked about this one is there is this I guess the planet, it's a futuristic tale, and she is not human. She looks human. Um, she is from another planet, and her family was like missionaries, or part of a missionary type of space exploration. And so they have these sentient guns that help them out, but all the guns have their own personalities. And I think at some point they gain sentience and free will. And so one of the guns, like, they keep flashing back as the gun is telling her about her father. And so her father's dead and her parents are gone and she's a bounty hunter. And I liked that because you're able to exposition to the reader via this telling the child stories about the father. And I thought that was really kind of cool, a cool way to deliver exposition. But you find that they were in these wars and stuff, and so the guns all did different things. And one of the guns was a pacifist or something, and they're like, isn't that, take that one back, it's bad. And while they're in like firefight, so something like that was fun. But she's this kind of like badass character, and of course, part of her backstory is, she doesn't know where she comes from. She was picked up by her parents as an adopted when they were on missionary, and then she lost her family, and now she is part of this other bounty hunter group. And there's a villain, like of course a lobster like villain. There was a prison break, and so now she is been tasked to go and capture these people and or kill them. So that was the crux of this first issue. And I have to say the art is good, and it's, I don't know, I don't want to never say, it's hard to say that it was traditional art because art is so subjective, but the figure work and the lines kind of reminded me of a tighter Riley Rossmo. But the colors is what really makes the book pop. I don't know. It came off really, really fun. And I think that if you're looking for just, an interesting kind of story, this is one that you can definitely take a look at. And people had said someone had said in the comments that the second issue, I think Steve said it, the second issue is out. It came out yesterday, so you can get them both and see what's going on. I'm probably going to get, after reading this one, I'm probably going to get the second one just to see what happens, because it kind of, the first issue was set up and giving you a little bit of backstory. So now I'm kind of like, hey, let's see what else is going on. Yeah. Canadian Survivalist. Yes, the heroes, me, and the villain, Rich, is thriving, and we really appreciate that. So are you going to pick up number 2, Joe? Sorry, are you going to pick up, I was thinking about Joe. Are you going to pick up number 2, Rich? You are muted, sir. You muted yourself. I mean, I like hearing you talk, sir. So, I mean, I can do the whole show by myself if you want, but I would hope that you can unmute it. It's this little button. There you go.
Okay. I don't know how I did that. So I've been talking and no one's heard me.
Nope. The Lord works in mysterious ways, sir.
Shut up. So Steve says Jimmy Robinson did a series with a gun, and it's called Amanda and Gun in the 90s. I'm going to have to hunt that down.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. I liked it. I have the number 2 over there.
Oh, well, there you go. So I'll definitely have to read and compare notes. Yeah. All right, my friend, what's next?
What is next? We gave this away last week.
So why did you want to read this? I'm curious.
I've always been a Jason Todd fan.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. Jason Todd has always been the quote unquote outsider Robin, the Robin that, had that, I don't want to say mean streak, but he was kind of like a little brat. And I think he was the antithesis of Dick.
Yeah.
So to see him in a much more teased out, wow, to see Jason Todd's backstory get it teased out a little bit more. Very interesting. Very interesting.
All right. So Robin and Batman, Jason Todd, Chapter 1, written by Jeff Lemire. Art and colors by Dustin Nguyen. Letters by Steve Wands. And that main cover was by Dustin. I got the Jeff Lemire cover because I love Jeff Lemire. I will start with this since I actually I voted for Jason Todd to get murdered.
Of course you did.
I called that number. Yeah, I got in trouble for calling that number too because I called multiple times.
Whoa. And back in the day, you know, you were tying up that line, no caller waiting. You know?
My mom was a little mad. So I voted for him to die, and he died, and I was happy. So he came back as Red Hood, and I actually really I love his character now, and I'm looking forward. They just announced a new series starting, and I want to say September, with the Huntress. Yes, Steve, let me do it. I will kill him with that crowbar. But anyhow,
wow.
I actually really like his character. So reading this, I was a little,
Huh? How so?
Yeah, I felt like I was reading Damien. I didn't feel like I was reading Jason. That was my biggest problem with this.
It's an interesting take.
Yes, because Jason hasn't been a child in a long time. I don't remember his voice. I don't remember the tone in which I don't think he sounded like this. Like, this would have been a great new Robin. I don't hear Jason. That was my biggest complaint that I had going into it. Like 4 or 5 pages in, when he had his little hissy fit when he got back to the house, and him and Bruce and Alfred are going back and forth about, you know, he just needs tough love. I didn't get Jason. So that just took me out. And then the rest of the book, I was just like, this is stupid.
The cuckoo, the mass villain.
Yeah, I like the little pun about, you know, doesn't Gotham have enough bird-themed villains? It was cute in places, but overall, I was not as happy with this book as I went into it thinking I was going to be.
Yeah,
that was for me. Really. Hey, Space Case.
Yeah, hey, Space Case. Okay, that is very interesting because I did not immediately jump to Damien until you said that now, and I'm thinking that. Because he did very much come off very, very like severe in his voice in his conversations with Batman, and especially how he was talking about back to Robin. I don't know. He seemed somewhat almost as if he was another adult talking. And I know that Damien always thought that he was like an adult and wanted to be treated like an adult. That's always was his voice to me.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think they needed to do a lot more to distance himself from Damien's voice, because Dick has a specific voice. Damien has a specific voice.
Even Tim
has a specific voice. And I think what they were trying to do is give Jason Todd a distinct voice, but I think they missed it with this one. That's a really good thing. And like having his mom being an addict, and then having his flinch because the cuckoo was an addict, and then the ending with that new guy they introduced in all white, the sniper. I'm like, do we need a new villain for this?
No.
Can we please have just a regular villain? I think if I ever write comic for DC, I'm just going to chock it full of villains. Like, you know, and it's going to be something simple. Like, it's going to be like, oh, we have a Two-Face, but he's on the other side. We're going to have a Joker, but only from the waist down. You know, I don't know. Just because, like, they people love to create villains. And I was like, really? Do we need to create a villain? Anyway, now I want to talk to you about the artwork. What did you think about the artwork?
Well, I've always been a fan of his.
Okay.
So it's funny. In this book, there's 2 styles. He uses the watercolor painting, but there's definite black sketch lines
What
over the
yeah.
painting. Don't think about it too much, Kyle.
Yeah, don't just
For this book, I'm used to him doing the young, what were they called? The young DC ones where he would do
Little Gotham.
So seeing his Batman changed shape, the face changed shape many times.
Okay.
It was very inconsistent, but the art was still a pleasure to look at.
Okay. For me, I did not like the art. I did not like it. I thought that, and this is not a crack against Justin. It's just, I think his name is Justin doing. Anyway, the thing about
Dustin,
it
with
Dustin,
D.
All right, the thing that made it not work for me, and it worked for Little Gotham, was because Little Gotham felt like it was a fairy tale, and his artwork really has that sort of fantasy fairy tale sort of artwork to it. But when I was looking at this one, it wasn't. It didn't seem. I don't know, the colors and everything. It just seemed a little bit too washed out, and maybe that's because of the reproduction process or whatnot. I just didn't. I did not like the colors. And one thing that I did notice is the backgrounds. And I know that you can kind of skirt backgrounds with watercolors by having the splotches of different water. So I can look at it and see that he draws a fantastic figure, and it looks like that. It looks good, but for this story, I just don't think that it worked.
That it worked.
I just don't think the artwork worked for it. So for me, I will not be getting the number 2 or any of the other ones, but I will probably pick it up if it's on like a half off or something like that. I'll pick it up and look at it. But because I just didn't, once you said this sounds too much like Damien, it clicked in my head, and I was like, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what my issue was with it as well. So I don't know. There's a lot of issues with this book for me.
I also thought it was a one shot. I was shocked when I got to the ending and it was like to be continued. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I think we've already ordered the number 2, but after reading the number 1, I'm probably not going to get the rest.
Yeah.
Like I'll get the 1 and the 2 and sell them later, but I don't really care about this, sadly.
All right. Now, what's next, my friend?
We have Endless Nights, number 1 from Mad Cave Studios. We are reviewing Mad Cave. This was written by Mark London. The artist was Tom Derenick. Juancho Velez was the colorist, and Simon Boland was the letterer. And that cover A was by Chris Weston. I got no clue. They don't list covers. Cover B, I got Declan Shavley.
Okay, Steve. Yes, I read all of Descender, and I've read most of Ascender. Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm familiar with his artwork, and I thought his artwork in stuff like in like that I thought was really good. And I don't know, just something about seeing Batman and Robin and them depicted like that and like their adult forms, it just didn't work for me. But yeah, because I normally really like his work and have been a fan. It's just for this material, it just did not work for me.
Yes, Eddie, that is a shield.
Yes. It is a shield. It is, and I guess he has these weird. Geralt has weird stuff like this all the time. Sorry, Geralt is the Witcher, and that guy looks like a modern day Witcher to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right. So the powerhouse that is Tom Derenick, he's penciled pretty much every DC character there is. He is a fill-in artist, a workhorse. Sometimes when his work shows up, I'm like, oh, cool. And other times I'm like, oh, God. This was a mixed bag of art for him. It really was.
This is a mixed bag of everything.
Yes, it really was.
Oh, my Lord.
So it's Exit City is the location. It is a modern day New York City, basically. And the plot is really, really simple. Guy wants guy killed so guy can ascend to member of hidden cabal. Things go wrong.
Yeah, and there's the cops, which is the black woman with the little with the afro, and then the guy behind them, and then there's him, who we have no idea who he is.
And the girl got introduced
at the
pages.
end as a secret operative or something. That's literally what you get. And a clock that kills people when it strikes.
Yes,
when it strikes a certain time, the clock kills people. This was all over the place, folks. And the funny thing when I say it was all over the place is because you didn't know what like. I still have no idea. Like, I don't know. It just screamed. That's like the word that jumped into my head when I was reading this was generic. Was just
really,
yeah. I felt that this was a generic badasses versus a clandestine cabal type of group. And there was another badass who is like an enforcer. It just screamed like 90s edge kind of stuff to me. Yeah. I was not a fan of this. I
liked it.
Thought the art was good. The art was good, but
I liked the last half of it.
No.
Like, I liked when he picked the shield up and it grew and he just kept ramming people.
Yes. The shield has PIM particles, and he's like, I need to get my watch. And I'm like, but I think he was just staying in, because the whole thing is a misconception or because the clock got sent to the guy's room. They wanted to assassinate a guy. And so the guy was like, the clock was ticking, and the guy's like, there's a clock and I don't know where there's something and I don't like it. Can you move me? So they moved him to another room, and I guess this other guy came in and got killed, and then the police are investigating, and then the other guy, the guy in the middle with the shield, is just kind of in there. And his shield and his watch, his shield is like this big, it's like a button, and his watch are in like a plastic bag and like evidence, and then the clock starts attacking people, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, the book was all over the place. I did not know what the hell was going on half the time. It was very wordy in the beginning.
Yes.
And the action got really it was.
Yeah.
I feel like someone who's not a friend needed to edit this book.
Or at least make it make a little bit more sense. Oh my God, I looked at the cover and I just realized that in the back is the clock. Underneath Endless Night is the clock. I didn't even notice it. I literally thought that was just like squiggly lines or something. I had no idea that was.
And the chick is going to be in the next, like, we get like, part of me is like, I really want to find out about her. And the other part of me is like, do I really care?
Yeah. And I have no idea who the main character is. Just that he has.
Is there a main character?
That shield guy, right?
That's okay. Maybe.
I mean, he's on all the covers. He has to be. He's shield guy. He's like anti-Captain America or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm putting a little too much like mental thought into it, but yeah, this book was, yeah.
Yes, I have to end this segment on. I agree. The book was kind of just
generic as hell.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
It's time for our first commercial break. That way Kyle can pay some bills. Yee-hoo! And we can let you know all of the fine, fantastic other shows that are on this channel. So please stay tuned, and we'll be back in a few.
FOC, a comic industry term for the final day a new comic can be ordered by a local comic shop. So what does that mean to you? Well, it's your last chance to order a new comic book from your local comic shop. Order up! The FOC show will go over every book that's about to be cut off every Friday afternoon.
I'm going to highlight some of the stuff that I think is really worth paying attention to,
so that you can put in an order at your LCS for as many copies or as many variant covers as you want.
Sometimes the store needs to know to up their orders.
Never miss out on a popular comic again. Order up! Part of the experience. Live from New York. What? Oh, sorry. Live from Cleveland? It's Friday night? It's Friday Night Live! With Nancy McCann. And Ricky. And sometimes Carlos. And featuring boxes and boxes of rare comics. Unique collectibles. Lots of smiles and conversations with new friends. Friday Night Live with Comics Unlimited. Friday night from 9 to 11 on The Experience.
According to a statistic that I just made up, people spend 4 hours a day changing the television channel. People who watch The Experience don't do that. Save yourself a ton of time by tuning into The Experience and enjoying our new original programming 7 days a week. And then tell your friends. Think about the money they could save on batteries in the remote alone just by tuning into The Experience. Find out more by scanning the QR code below.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning back in. We are the Geek Chat on The Experience. I'm Beardy Rich.
I'm Little Black Beardy Dez. Nice to see you all.
Yes, so be sure to like, share, subscribe. They say hit all the buttons.
Tell your
I don't know
friends.
what all the buttons are, but hit them anyhow.
Go get your
I just
grandma.
want to say a couple things. I have started watching Henri. I think he's on Monday nights, and I have wanted to buy stuff from him every time I see it. He's got some really, really good stuff. What's up, Kyle?
Henri's
on
on
Monday?
Tuesdays, 10 to midnight.
He's on Tuesdays. I have no sense of days, people, so he's on Tuesdays. And I love watching Nancy on Friday nights. She is fun. She will find stuff in her store. If you say, like, I want Iron Man, she will send someone to go through the Iron Man books to pull
Ricky?
what you're looking for to buy.
Just send Ricky
like-
to go get it.
I
They'll
don't
crawl
think Ricky
into
can, yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he can pick them up yet. But there's some really good programming on The Experience, guys. If you're looking for a chat show, Kyle does one with Jay. It is there, you never know what they're going to talk about. They were doing fan casting on this latest episode, and Des knows I don't know actors at all. You could say an actor and I don't know him, but it was fun listening to them talk about these actors in these roles. And I actually had to chime in because they said someone, I'm like, oh, he's too old. But it's fun. So check out the other shows. And coming up after us, I'm going to get it right this time. It's Mog and Mel. Yeah, I got it right this time. See, I'm listening.
Except Mog and Mel are at at Awesome Con in Vegas, Awesome Las Vegas Comic Con. So K-pop Junkie and Jenna will be filling in for them tonight
cool.
on the show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
Cool.
Kelly. So be sure to stay tuned right after us. But we have a giveaway. We need to make sure you all get in on this. It's Godzilla versus Avengers. We are reviewing this next. You could win this 1 in 25 Tony S. Daniel variant just by putting in what, Des?
Hashtag Geek Chat.
# Geek Chat.
Yes, old man. Pound sign Geek Chat. Yes. Like you're dialing information or something. I don't know. And put that in, and you could win. We'll send it right to your doorstep. Knock, knock, knock. Who is it? It's your comic.
Have a nice day. All right, so let's just get to this. Godzilla versus Avengers #1 one-shot. This actually is the new Avengers from many, 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 many years ago.
You know what, sir? It
What?
is the Avengers. We cannot.
Yeah.
No, it does not say New Avengers.
But it's the
It's
new
the-
Avengers.
It's New Avengers. Yeah.
Okay.
I literally when they did the lineup of all the people that were in the book, I literally flipped back to the front of the cover, and I was like, okay, it didn't say New Avengers, but these are the New Avengers, right? And I was
is.
about to text you, and I was like, let's go with it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So David F. Walker did the writing for this. Oh my God. When I opened this up, I was like, really? Georges Jeanty is the penciler for this. I have not read his stuff in a long time. He was the forever penciler on Buffy, who gave everyone little dots for eyes. Carl Story was the inker, and Frank D'Armata. Oh my God, Frank, I'm sorry. He was the color artist. And VC's Corey Pettit was the lettering. I butchered that name. So sorry. So Barlord, it is not. Yes, I have heard rumblings in the comic book Facebook the owner of Comic Book Store Chat, that yes, DC Universal. I don't think it would be an exclusive. I don't know. But we did learn today. I just want to give great news to everyone. Dynamite will be at Lunar, so comic book stores will be able to get their Dynamite books again. We are very excited here. The Beardies are very excited to be reading Dynamite again. So back to the comic book.
Yes. Yeah, Steve. Sorry. Red Ronin does not finally show up. Instead, we get another one from the Toho Studios. We get...
Oh, that's real?
Jet Jaguar. Yes, Jet Jaguar is real, sir. That is Jet Jaguar. That is one of Godzilla's, homies, one of his ride or dies. Yes. Yeah, and I liked how they attached it to his the original creator's daughter was the one that found pieces when they of Jet Jaguar and rebuilt him, and he's able to change his size to get big and small, and they were all surprised that they did not use PIM particles to do it. And yeah, it was really cool seeing Jet Jaguar in there, although he does get destroyed, but oh well. And Godzilla uses him as a weapon against Fin Fang Foom. Yes, we finally get Godzilla fighting Fin Fang Foom, which was weird. So okay, this whole book was very, very strong tongue in cheek. It was not done for dramatic or anything like this. This is one of those comics that is a one and done that you're just supposed to turn your brain off. And the reason being is immediately Wolverine gets half his body burnt off by Fin Fang Foom. And he walks around for the rest of I've never seen Wolverine not heal as fast as he's ever done. Like I don't know, why haven't you healed already? This is annoying. They go through a literal 2 panels, 2 pages of trying to discern Fin Fang Foom's gender, because people don't know if Fin Fang Foom is either male or female.
But he has purple trunks on.
And they believe that he is a guy because he has purple trunks on but no bra, but Peter couldn't say the word bra. So yes, it comes off very juvenile in certain aspects, and other portions it's really kind of cool. But this book, it was one of the weaker ones, and some of the conversations they were having were so cringy. It was like, are we really having this conversation? Because the whole thing is being told as a story to Maria Hill, because Maria Hill is questioning the New Avengers about what happened. So we're getting all of these different things about what happened, and then the biggest reveal that I thought which really was kind of weird, was the reason why Fin Fang Foom and Godzilla were fighting in the first place was because Fin Fang Foom was jealous, because Fin Fang Foom thought that they should be king of the monsters. And so Fin Fang Foom was picking a fight with Godzilla, who whooped its ass, and then just got mad and left. That's the resolution. Godzilla just left. So, yeah, I thought Fantastic Four was the worst one. it's a tie with this one. I was so let down with this one. I thought it would be a lot more high stakes or whatnot, but it was not. This was not a good issue. And the only thing saving grace for me was seeing Jet Jaguar, but then he was destroyed. And I was reading this book and I was just not, I was not happy with this book at all. Go on, Rich.
I don't think I have very much more to say. I agree. I think that this was kind of worse than the Fantastic Four. It really sucks because, like, Kelly and I talk about the Godzilla books. I really have been enjoying them. And I was looking forward to this one. And they just announced in the
Thor.
Godzilla versus the Marvel Universe issue 3 is going to be X-Men heavy. And I was like, yes. And then I read this. And this by far was not the best.
No. And I really hope, Steve, that in the next one we kind of get back to this more, almost more, I don't want to say mature, because mature means that it's going to be like a lot of violence and stuff like that. No, just more adult kind of like story, like to take.
Well, the next one is with Thor, so hopefully.
Like this one, they didn't take anything serious in this book, and sometimes that's fine, but it's not what I was expecting. And even though sometimes you don't get what you're expecting, it can be good, but just the language, how they were speaking, everything that was played for jokes, Fing Fang Foom. Literally, like they literally had a therapy session with Fing Fang Foom to kind of like try to get him to be like, it's okay, buddy, and this and that. It's just, I was so over it. I was lying in the bed and I was just like reading it, and I was like, what the hell? Yeah.
Yes, do yourself a favor. Don't pick this one up.
Yeah, if you have disposable income, do not spend it on this. It was not it. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I did not like this book.
Good. Be honest. That's why they watch us.
I hope so. It's our bald heads. Okay, and our beards. All right, Kyle. It's enough of that trash. What's next? Okay. Bring on the bad guys. Doom. Let's see. Rich, what was your thoughts?
Well, I'm not much of a Doom fan to begin with.
Well, he was only in the first one, so
the writer was Mark Guggenheim, the artist is Stefano Raffaella, the letterer is VC's Travis Lanham, and the color artist was Neeraj Menon. And then there was a butt ton of variant covers, like a butt ton. And the main cover right there that you all are looking at was by Lee Bermeo.
Fantastic cover.
That's the best thing about this book. So, this is in reference to the Bring on the Bad Guys from decades ago, where it spotlighted all these different villains, because Stan Lee believed that a hero is only as good as his villain. So they told one-shot stories about different villains. So they're bringing this back. And they're doing it the Marvel way, which is instead of making a mini-series and numbering them 1 through 7, they instead love their one-shots that have connected stories. And that is exactly what this one is. Sister Sorrow. So Triple B, that is the brand new character that is on the Laree. You said her name, and I can't. Laree Lee, I think is how you say
Lee.
Yes. That is Sister Sorrow. She's the brand new character, and she is just another Madeline Pryor clone. There was nothing spectacular about Sister Sorrow.
I liked her little like cane,
her little staff,
her little cane. That was kind of cool. I liked her kind of eyeliner that was coming down. Like seriously, I didn't know who she was. And
Hollow Eve, the same thing. I mean,
okay,
the look is very, very dated. And
yeah, I thought she was someone that was already around, because I thought it was, what is it, Satana or whatever?
No.
She's a brand new
character. There was also a Kevin Eastman cover, which I kind of wanted that. Okay, I've told you what I thought. I did not like this book. Did not care about this book. Mephisto, woo.
They're stealing souls. Dr. Doom Esther.
The story, talk about exposition. Good Lord, this book is wordy.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily wordy.
Lots of exposition. Green Goblin is next, but then I think like, how is the Green Goblin going to fight like magic, or are they all separate stories with separate bad guys fighting bad guys? Or like,
Yes.
is that what it is? Okay, so
So
that's what I got. So Sister Sorrow was fighting Doom, and she lost, but she kind of won because they got that soul capture thing, and so
the knife.
yeah, the soul knife, and so I guess Mephisto is trying to collect all these different. His minions are trying to collect all these things. The bad guys are standing in their way, and so the next minion is going to be another one where they kind of like another fight scene between two people involving Norman Osborn. So yeah,
the other specials are going to be Abomination, Loki, Red Skull, Dormammu, Mephisto, and then Green Goblin is next. Why wouldn't Abomination be before this if he went to Abomination to get the knife? So we're seeing Abomination again. I don't know. I don't understand how they're going to link it, but
maybe in that last book they're all going to join together against Sinestro, and that's how they're doing it. And this is one of those things where it's from their. I'm assuming it's from their perspective, but I do believe if they'd have just said bring on the bad guys and had it be a 7 issue, it would have been a lot better. But Marvel's always chasing those number ones. So
chasing the number ones. Speaking of number ones, I'm ready to move on.
Okay, let's go.
Do you have anything else you want to say about it?
No, I didn't. I didn't particularly care for it as well.
Yeah.
Hi, Garflong. Look at that side butt.
Yes.
There's so much side butt. It's like it literally is like it feels like her leg should be more over to the side than coming straight on at us. It literally is like they moved her hips over a little. I don't know. Too much side hip or too much side butt. Like,
hey, Garflong.
Too much side butt for me in that picture.
Too much. So I got the Swaby.
Oh my lord!
I got the Swaby. She's Swaby loves to draw his sexy women. I had to get this one. Yes.
I did drink water for that one. Woo.
So, this takes place.
Never too much. Okay, BB. I see you, buddy.
BB likes it.
His side butt.
So the writer was Amy Chu. The artist, which I love this artist so much, Andrea DeVito. Color artist is Antonio Fabella. And the main cover is by David Nakayama. Greg Land ruined a cover. Joel Jones did a cover, which was beautiful. I got Swaby. Mike Henderson and Ricky Yagawa also did all. There was a bunch of covers for this, and pretty much they were all spot on except for the traced land. He traced some porn star from 1987 probably. Okay, I found some inconsistencies in this book because I've been reading the XMen for so long. They misnamed what?
Okay, number one. And
yes.
This is the thing that kind of, and I missed this when I read it. This is in the past, right? This is when she was the White Queen of the Hellfire Club,
and Tessa wasn't Sage. She was still working for Shaw,
and because she had mentioned Henry Leland, and I was like, okay, so
he was the Black Bishop,
exactly, and I think he was the Black. But you're right?
No,
because this was after
Leland wasn't the bishop. The bishop was Von Hone that she talks about. This takes place right in Central Park when the XMen and the Hellfire Club have to take on Nimrod. And Selene changes the Black Bishop and he turns into his
dog.
Yes, he had like a form of werewolf. He was like a werewolf but human. And Nimrod fries him. Yeah. And that was who she was talking about having to replace. So this takes place at that time.
Right after. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And as soon as they said that, I instantly remembered that issue.
Yeah. So I was looking for context clues about where this takes place in, because I wasn't.
Hey, Leonard.
Because at first I was like, oh, cool. Like this is like, Emma Frost, White Queen, is getting her own mini. And I thought it was in present day, but they're doing some more revisionist history about what was going on. Okay, that's fine.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
It wasn't until like the middle part when I really started to like finally get in. But I'm glad your explanation really kind of solidified exactly where it was, because I didn't know exactly where it was.
Yeah, it has to be right that time. So, one thing that bugged me is how hard is it to Google if you work for Marvel, because Roberto's father was not whatever name she called him in here, Victor or whatever. It's Manuel, and I've known that since New Mutants.
Strike one.
It's not hard to Google, people. And then I thought, well, maybe it's his grandfather. Well, wait, that doesn't make sense, because it was about that time that his dad was trying to get into the Hellfire Club.
Strike two.
So, yeah. I actually didn't hate this at all. I didn't. I actually really enjoyed seeing the X-Men, the old G1 X-Men, so to say.
This is G2, unfortunately.
Well, I really don't like Scott and company, so for me it was.
That's why it's G2. This is
G2.
X-Men. Cannonball. Like we got all the hits.
The fastball special.
We got all the hits.
We haven't seen that in a very, very, very long time. That made me really happy.
Was the black girl, the black woman, was she a new character?
Yes.
Okay, because I did not remember her.
No.
And I wasn't sure what kind of powers that she had.
Looks like she's mental, like Emma.
Like Emma. I thought it was fun. I thought the issue was fun. I thought the art was great. That picture of Colossus rearing back and then tossing Wolverine, I thought that whole those two panels were just beautiful. Okay. I was like,
this is the double page spread.
Yep.
That shows the team. This artist should be on an X book.
Yeah, it was great. One of the best Cyclopses I've seen. Sorry, best Colossuses I've seen in a very long time.
Yes,
just really good, really strong. And then that fastball. Look at that, just beautiful. Look at the one before where he's holding him back.
Where he's holding him.
I
can't say enough about this book. I really went into this book thinking I was going to hate it.
Yeah, see, that was great. How he's like getting picked up onto his, and he's just like, it's just effortless. I don't know. I thought the artwork was one of the best things about it. Again, your mileage may vary with the Hellfire Club, so part of me does enjoy seeing more about them, because I think that their heyday definitely was in the late 80s during the Claremont run. He really knew what he was doing in this sort of like London based seedy Eyes Wide Shut,
underground mutants only,
sort of thing that was the clandestine controlling the. I really liked that. I liked that Shaw was not there, and so something was going on, and so there's probably going to be some weird conspiracy in the Hellfire Club. I did, and that's because if it was just a story just exploring her like background or something like that, they tried that in the early 2000s with their solo series, and I didn't.
That was terrible.
Yeah, I didn't like that. So having something to do with her dealing with the Hellfire Club, I think is a lot. I think it's a lot more appealing to a lot more people. So, yeah.
I use the word mutie all the time, Leonard.
He does.
I love it. I use it on Twitter.
He calls me a mutie a lot. I'm like, why are you calling me?
I'm gonna say, pick this book up if you like. Just a fun, stupid story.
I'm like, did you use the M word? And he's like, I did. I'm taking it back. And I'm like, fine. So, no, but the one thing though, and okay, so
what?
So. I never liked this costume. There, I said it.
Really?
I never liked this costume because this was way before she had her secondary mutation, and unless like their electricity bill must be out of control to keep everyone warm. I'm just saying, because they run around in these like, you know, the clothes like this, you know.
Remember
she can do whatever she wants. She's a strong, independent mutant woman. But
remember the little hoochies that would go around with the men in the little outfits like that?
Yeah,
room to room.
And I was like, I'm a teenager. Why are you exposing me to this flesh? Yeah, I was offended. My little mind was offended by seeing Emma Frost and Celine.
I wasn't.
And all
I loved her and I like the fact that Celine was all black. She was all white. I loved it.
They could definitely, and like their parties, I could imagine their parties being very, very eyes wide shut, very crazy. Oh, BBB, make your wife run around in this? Okay. I mean, hey, whatever sells books, buddy.
You know what I loved? I loved that even when Claremont was writing her, she was always strong.
Yes.
And she was not afraid to be in that outfit. She wore that not for men's gazes, but for her. And I loved when Grant Morrison brought her back into the fold and really gave her that strength. And I'm glad they're still using her now.
Yes. So Leonard says Hellfire Diddy parties. No, we cannot have that. Please don't even put that in my mind because it would be crazy. Stacey X would be there. It'd be great. So yes, I really thought that her depictions nowadays, she's one of the only, I think she has had one of the best character growths and character transitions I have seen in comic books. I think her, Rogue, Kitty Pryde.
Well, I gotta.
No, I'm okay. We could challenge Kitty Pryde because they keep regressing her every so often. They regress her back.
Yes. And they never really did explain why she couldn't go through the Krakoan gates. They've never explained that.
No, and they never will. They
never will.
That's just
especially the way
plotline.
Tom Brevoort is demolishing anything that had Krakoa on it.
Yeah.
So,
Although someone recently just used the Krakoan language to do something, didn't they? Recently, Krakoan language, maybe.
Yes.
I don't know. It's a dead language now. It's like Latin, folks. Steve Vendetta says, Is Emma's mutant power the ability to function in high heels as though she's barefoot? You know, she never sprains her ankles, compresses her toes. You know what? I think her mutant power is she'll never have a pump blowout. That's what we used to call when drag queens or people in high heels would walk around, their ankles would go. They have a pump blowout and they have to fall. It's like, oh my god, get a pump blowout. She falls over. No, but I do know I did like it when Quietly used to draw her in her long boots, and she had the flat heels with the giant heels and made her look
those platform boots.
Platform boots.
Love it.
Those. And I think that those were definitely a little bit more I think those would definitely be a little bit more forgiving on her ankles. But yes, you were right. She could never. Although I don't know though, because her those boots, those thigh high boots that she puts on, who must zip up from the back, I'm assuming. Not that I've ever wore anything like that. I wouldn't know. Must be kind of hard on her heels. Yeah. So
I also love that because of JLo, we know how Emma kept her new XMen top on that never made sense. She just used double-sided tape.
Of course.
That's
industry standard. Come on.
So yes, that's how the death drop was invented. Kelly says the pump blowout.
So yes, Leonard. When Kitty joined Shield, that was really good, and that did show a lot of growth. But
you know who else joined Shield so far? We got Dazzler joined Shield, Danny Moonstar joined Shield,
Wolverine,
Kitty. We need an X Shield book.
Could you imagine that? That'd be actually kind of fun. But
a limited series. Marvel doesn't do long ongoings anymore, but that would be kind of cool. They all could be sitting around playing poker, talking about their days in Shield.
XMen
4 issues.
Yes, no, it'd be 6 issues, all number ones. Kitty Pryde of Shield, Wolverine of Shield, number 1. See, Tom, if you're listening, give us our money if you'd make that happen.
Jeez,
So on that note, you can ponder that while we take a quick break, our last break, and then we'll get to our final books. Some, I think you'll be surprised to hear what we have to say about them. So stay tuned.
Programming on the EXP is made possible by viewers like you, or your local comic shop, or that Kickstarter you backed, or the publisher you like, or comic industry professionals who want to share a message with the world. Really, anyone who wants to advertise with us can. If you're interested in seeing a product you know and love, or are creating, or are publishing, or are involved with, advertised here on The Experience, and having your message shared with our viewers, please reach out by scanning the QR code below or visiting our website and using the contact form.
Sure, comic books are beautiful, but underneath, there's something more authentic and exciting. The original art. See the pencils, the lines, the shading, as if you were there in the studio watching the artist work. Getting a peek at comics' backstage is easy with the original art experience.
All right, Friday night, guys. Thank you for being here. To be doing anything, the fact that you're here means the world to me.
Nick's pieces are always value priced with your budget in mind, for the beginning collector to the veteran.
And this is gorgeous. You got Aquaman and Mira.
Join the original art experience with Nick and our friendly crew of regulars, even if it's just to enjoy the art. Fridays at 7. It's all part of the experience.
Did you know that Arthur, King of the Britons, and Monty Python and the Holy Grail was played by a famous Graham? Check out another famous Graham by following our Instagram.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Geek Chat on The Experience. I'm Beardy Rich.
I'm Little Black Beardy Des.
And we have got 3 more books coming up.
But first,
mixed bag for sure. But first,
we want to talk about our giveaway. And we're giving away this fantastic Godzilla versus the new Avengers.
We'll fix it.
What?
We'll fix it.
Yeah. By the fantastic classic
Tony S. Daniel.
Tony S. Daniels. It's a 1 in 25 variant. You could win this by just putting in hashtag Geek Chat into the chat, and we'll send it out to you post haste to your doorstep. So
it's our thank you to you for watching, and thank you everyone that's watching tonight.
Yes. Want to say I watched Nick's show last Friday, and
so did I.
I have to say it's yeah, as someone who does own original artwork and collects like sketchbooks and stuff like that when I go to cons, seeing someone put up pages like that at an affordable price is really heartwarming, because some of them can be really expensive, but it's good to see that he does that and, you know, shares his time with everybody. So that's really cool. And
Friday night,
you should check it out, definitely. You never know who you might see. So, all right, my friend, what's next on the docket?
We have Crypto, the last dog of Krypton. So the writer is Ryan North.
He didn't die in it. Jeez,
the artist is Mike Norton. Ian Herring was the colorist. Lucas Gattoni was the letterer. And that cover I love, by Jay Lee and June Chung.
So I'll start this one off.
All right.
So he sends me a message, because we do what we're gonna be doing. Like we'll send we'll send Kyle and folks like what we're gonna be doing next week, because a lot of those covers already come out. And so Rich usually will say, "How about these?" And I'll say sure, or I'll counter back and add some stuff. And so I didn't know like this book was coming out. And when he sent it to me and said, "Hey, Crypto #1," and I was like, "Wait, what? You haven't reading a book about a damn dog?" So I was like, ugh. And so I was like, okay, they'll put, they'll make a comic out of anybody because it's the summer of Superman. So I was like, okay. So then, I send it off, I send our images off to Kyle and folks, and we start to, the weekend goes by and we start to do our stuff. And so it's time for me to do an outline. And so he sends me the rest of the books we're going to do. And I say, okay. And Crypto's there. And I'm like, damn it. Do I really want to read this book? It's like, where's the streaky love? Why can't I get a streaky book?
Streako's not going to be in a movie in a month.
It's annoying. So anyway, so then like I look at the cover and I'm like, okay, I like the cover and I like what's going on. And then I start reading it and I was like, okay, like I really like this book. It's like Crypto, that's one damn entertaining dog and one damn entertaining story. So basically it's you get to see, and I don't know that much about Crypto, as I've always known him as, the quote unquote mascot of the League of Super Pets. And he was a 50s era character that when little boys had their dogs, I know he was a part of like Superboy and all this other stuff. And there was that kind of boy and your dog motif that they were going for. And so Superman, of course, had a dog. Like he's a symbol. And one of those symbols has a dog to kind of humanize him. And to, people had dogs. So I got why he was there and why he's a white dog and all this other, iconography that they were doing with him. But I didn't know much about his past, or just he's kind of showed up one day. And this goes into that. And I thought it was going to be a lot more of that, but it wasn't. The half of the comic, or the beginning of the comic, is you see Crypto was Jor-El and Jor-El and his wife's dog, and there's a really touching scene where Crypto was sleeping with little Kal-El, and it was just like, oh, this is really cool how this was happening. And you see, the mom is walking, the dog, and she's talking to people about how Krypton is gonna die, and she's like, I don't think that's gonna happen. And she's like, okay, well, we gotta go now. So she didn't want to talk to the other dog, and so there's actual other dogs on Krypton and stuff. So that was kind of cool. But how Crypto gets done. See, this is okay. Like you cannot be an asshole and look at that. Like it's just adorable. It's just damn adorable. Anyway, so you find out the reason why Crypto left Krypton in the beginning is because they were this is kind of sad, but they were testing the escape pod for Kal-El with him, and they lost signal as there's a bunch of wormholes, and Crypto unfortunately gets sucked into a wormhole and then sent through, and then lands on Earth in like 20 years. Do you think that was 20 years or 10 years before? Because at the end he lands, and then he lands in Metropolis, or outside of Metropolis. He lands outside of Metropolis, goes into the city, but the city is kind of like classical. Did you notice that? Like,
yeah, the car is very, very old.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking, what year is this? Because he meets
a young Lex
Luthor with a full head of hair. So I'm thinking, what time frame is this? Because it looks like it's the 50s, the 50s, but they're playing with time with it. And that was the one thing that was confusing. Number one was the Kal-El and all of them sending a dog into space. That was kind of like really like cringy a little bit for me. I was like, oh, but they have to get him out of there somewhere. So I was like, okay, whatever. But meeting the young Lex in like a 50s sort of Metropolis,
that would make Lex so old,
right? It really threw me off. But the way the book was constructed and what they did for the book made me really want to read number 2 to see how this is going to happen. That's how you do a number 1. That's how you hook up. That's how you hook someone, because now I want to know, was Crypto, because Crypto when he landed didn't have any powers either.
Well, okay, so
he did
that cover. No. I want to say 2 things about that.
Yeah.
The cover is amazing, but would never happen because on Krypton, no one had powers. So Crypto wouldn't be flying on Krypton. But the reason I think he doesn't have his powers yet is because the body has to absorb the solar rays.
Yeah.
Once he's supercharged, and I really hope, who did this? Ryan North. I hope Ryan does that in the second issue, that Crypto's walking along and all of a sudden he's flying because the body has absorbed so much solar power that now he has powers. And how awesome would it be to see what a dog with untrained superpowers would be. Like, no one's gonna train him.
Well, no, he seemed to, I mean, he seemed to have a level of what's the word? Intelligence, and he didn't seem overly aggressive. They didn't
No.
make him as overly aggressive
No.
or anything like that. And he seemed to have like a good, head on his shoulders, for lack of a better term. So I don't know, but I'm just wondering, like, if he's going to show his powers to Lex, if like, he
doesn't know he has them.
But I'm just saying, if he's going to do it, is Lex going to see it?
Yeah.
Is Lex, is this, because Lex and Superman, or Lex and Clark, were friends in Smallville. So
Wait a minute. What was Lex's dad's name? Wasn't it Alexander?
Yes, Alexander Luthor.
What if that's his dad? That would make sense in the 50s.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that. Oh,
that would make a ton of sense if that was, like, we assumed Lex the child, but
what
I'm
if it's
pretty
his
sure
dad?
Lex's dad was called
Alexander.
Yeah.
Whoa! I didn't even catch that. If that's the
case, that's going to add a whole new wrinkle to this.
Yes. Okay. See, that's what I mean. Like, how the hell am I supposed to read a dog and then read a story about a dog and it's this good? I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you know the one thing I loved?
What?
Did you notice that the word bubbles, when Crypto is not being spoken to, is green, but when the humans are directly talking to him, they turn black. So when the dog is acknowledging, listening to someone,
I did notice that
the letters are black, and when everyone else is, so that you as the reader know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
When Jor-El was talking, they were all green. The lettering was green.
Yeah, because he's
brilliant.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, Ruby ignores everything we say.
Yeah.
So the letters would just not even be there for her.
Yeah. Okay, give a little bit of catch up. Yes, Garth Wong, glad you picked it up. It was great. Steve says, imagine Crypto tugging on Power Girl's costume with his teeth. No, we're not seeing that. It's not what is it? That sunscreen ad. This is a PG stream, sirs. Yes, Steve. I do know that the Russians did that decades ago, sending dogs into space. They sent all kinds of stuff into space, monkeys, dogs. Like, it's an animal graveyard orbiting us. It's crazy. And it's sad. Steve, you had me at Power Girl, and that's why Rich gets the big bucks. Please, he wishes. I'm the brains in the operation. All righty, what's next?
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Let me get this out of the way, and let us discuss this book. We will do a little chat between geeks about this book. The script was Ben H. Winters. His name is Ben. The art was by Leo Max. The name of the book is Benjamin. Colors by Luca Bertelli. And the letters are by Becca Carey. And the cover right there is by the great Christian Ward. Yeah.
I'll let you start this one, Rich.
It was a book. I will be honest. I actually liked the art, which is odd for me because the art was not my style. And I will show everyone what I mean. This is more, the artist knows forms. Like, there's no getting around that. It's very messy and full. Like, I love full panels. And let me tell you, the artist fills panels. Like, there is not one empty panel in this book. Not one. And I looked through it a couple times. Not one empty panel. Everything that should click the boxes for me clicked. But the story was a drag for me. A drag. It was very wordy.
Because it's a. So this reads like a classic pulp science fiction comic book.
And maybe that's why I
In the
didn't much care for it.
in the terms of those short Ray Bradbury, Harlan Ellison type of stories, this is a comic book version of one of those, in which you have, so Benjamin is a science fiction writer who dies but then is resurrected, but he is resurrected and is either living out is either living out one of his books that he's written, because he meets a man who is a fan of his writing.
No, the dad was a fan of his writing.
The dad is a fan of his writing, and so
he's dead.
Yeah, and he's dead, and so the son meets him, and then
he has all his books.
Yes, and so he takes him, and then you find out that something cosmic is going on, because the person now is living one of his stories, and so the language sounds like those 50s and 60s and 70s sort of sci-fi writers. Yeah. So that's what it is. So it's one of those slow burn classic sci-fi stories that is a little bit of a head scratcher if you're not used to them. Yeah, and I think that's what it is. You're going to get every book. You're probably going to get one revelation of like what's or realization of what's happening to this person, because we have two things that are happening. He was resurrected. He might be a robot, and his stories have been. He wrote this portion of what's happening to him in a book somewhere. So
you know what the art reminded me of?
It's
old
interesting.
Vertigo books.
No, I think that's what they're going for, because it is that weird sort of half pulp, half sci-fi, half, kind of, highbrow sort of stuff. I think that's what it's about. And so part of me wants to continue on because no, stop it. Because of that. But books like this, though, I don't like to wait, so
you want this done. You want it all at once.
Yeah. So I think books like this that have that sort of like, fiction, that's sort of this highbrow sci-fi type of stuff, I wouldn't just read it all. That way I'm done with it. So reading it as a comic book or chapters might not work. Because I'm interested, but I don't know if I'm interested to follow it, because it has to be a limited series. I don't think it is, but I probably will pick it up and like read the first as a graphic novel and then see how I like it from there. Because I actually thought it was very interesting. It's not one of the ones that is intentionally trying to be super crazy and out there and edgy. It's just a basic sci-fi story that has an interesting kind of like twist to it, little twists and turns to it. Which is funny because when you read the description of the book, it makes it sound a lot more out there and wild and crazy than it actually really is. And so I think whoever marketed this book oversold it for what it really is. And I think that's a problem. That's a problem for it, because like you said, it's a slow burn. It's slower. It drags, that's what those old sci-fi books did. They meandered around. So yeah.
Well,
yes, Kelly, you're exactly right, Kelly.
I cannot, in good faith, tell anyone to pick this up unless they do like that kind of
story,
science fiction slow burn, where it did not. Yeah, no.
It seriously, it reminded me of those old like Harlan Ellison and that was another one. But anyway, it reminded me of those old guys who wrote like that. So. So, yeah.
Next up, our last book, and we will be this real quick because we got our giveaway. So be sure to put in hashtag Geek Chat to enter. This is Bitchcraft #1 from Mad Cave. 2 Mad Cave books this week.
This is much better than that last one.
So Aaron Reese is the writer. Now he died.
Sadly passed away.
Yes, and they are putting this out. Lima Carrill was the artist. Bex Glendinning did the coloring. Morgan Martinez did lettering. And that cover is by A.L. Kaplan. I got the Luciano Vecchio cover because, you know, I love me some Luciano Vecchio. That's not this. That's over there somewhere. I'm going to let you start.
I loved it.
You loved it.
It is queer, black, magical princess type stuff. It's crazy. Like they're genderqueer, they're all over the spectrum, and they're witchy poo, and they are a coven of queer witches who are all kinds of, you know, crazy and doing stuff. The person in the middle is the seer who leads them. The one in the upper left hand corner is like a
necromancer.
Yeah, non-binary necromancer, and the other one is like a princess who does stuff with she has a princess soul in her, and she's a green witch.
Yeah, she's green.
And they're crazy. And they tried to do a ritual, and they messed it up, and it became an eclipse. And because of the eclipse, all the other witch houses are having weird stuff happening to them. And then there's a religious cult with crazy powerful angels that are going around and basically rapturing people. So that's the direct antagonists to this. So yeah, it's crazy. The artwork is fantastic. It's a little over the place at the beginning because you're kind of dropped into it, and you're just kind of like, you know, go into there. But yeah, it's very unapologetically black, unapologetically queer. It's just really a fun story. And the conversations that they're having, what's going on, they are catty, they are fun. And I like magic like this. I love magical stories. I'm a magical person. I prefer magic over sci-fi every day. I just how I am. And to see, you know, representation like this feels really, really good. It's fun. It's a fun book. Rich?
So I was confused for the first half. I did not know what was going on.
Really? Oh, I
the
didn't know.
Narrative of the story was very confusing. We're introduced to them, and then we're introduced to this woman, and she has these flying angels, and then the congregation gets raptured, and
that's how she gets her power. And
I was like, and then you meet Mother,
which is their patron, you know.
I was just, the beginning was, it was all over the place. I got to be real honest, it was all over the place for me.
Again,
half the time I was like, what? And I'd go back and I'd have to read a couple pages. Did I miss something? Did a page stick together? The narrative for me did not work. Once it got to them out and about, and you meet the
other covens,
the snake coven or whatever they called
the
it.
The Medusa,
the Gorgons,
coven. The Gorgons, yes, the Gorgon coven.
Frenemy snake coven. Don't hiss at them. I was like, okay. And then they meet the black unicorn. I was just like, and then the lightning strikes, and I was more confused. I was confused.
I enjoyed it. I was here for it. I was like, of course. I mean, they're gonna explain what's going on, and yeah,
are they?
Stop
I hope.
BBB. I enjoyed it. I will be getting number 2. I will be supporting. I will be reading. If it's not on my
I think
pull
Kelly,
list,
you probably might like this.
please put it on my pull list. I will definitely.
Oh, Des wants Bitchcraft, the rest of them. He just said it.
I would like those on my pull list. So
all right. Yes. So that was a fun show. Some really good books and some really. I'm sorry, that Godzilla Avengers was just.
We'll just say they're
beautiful cover. We want you to have the cover. Enjoy it for the art.
Yes, if you could please put back on the cover. If you could please put back the cover, that's great. And I really hope that you all win. something.
They
or when
can't
do you
all win.
No, I'm trying to be like, you know how I'm trying to be the nice person. I know it's
No.
hard. Stop it. Alrighty, Kyle. And folks, if you have not already, please put in hashtag Geek Chat. We want to give you this cover. Please tell your friends about it. We want them to win or get the chance to win as well. We are one of the best kept secrets on the experience. So let everyone know. Let everyone know about your own show. I know we have people in the chat who host their own show. Thank you so much for coming and supporting us. We really appreciate it. And if you're if you're listening, go check out their shows as well. A lot of really fun, interesting, and hilarious people on the experience. Go check them out. But that was a great way for me to kill time. People were going to still put in the hashtag, but it doesn't look like it. Let's go!
Space
Case!
Collectibles!
All righty.
Congratulations. Thank you,
Ooh.
Triple B. Your show is amazing, and you are awesome, too.
Yes.
And my Coog really wants that Elvira poster that you have up. Yes. Oh, and Triple B, real quick. I showed Coog the intro to your. He's a horror fan, so he loved the intro.
Scary. I'm scary. I'm scary. I'm a scary person. So, but having said that, thank you all. Please join us next Thursday as we're going to be talking.
We're going to be reviewing Kamala in Age of Apocalypse. You know how much we're going to love that.
Hey, it might be good. You know, they all can't be stinkers, right? So tune in next time. Let's see what the geeks think about it. We love you all. Have a fantastic, magical, great week. Also, all you fathers out there, hope you had a fantastic Father's Day that was restful. And I really hope that your tie matches something that you own. So, all righty. We'll talk to you later. Have a good time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.